White man in boxing led the Flair Cops. Shout out to Goodfellas Sports TV.
Don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. 100% all natural products from lotions, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, and much, much more. Use the promo code Goodfella1Boxing. Tell them your boy CJ Goodfella sent you. Get 18% off. We out.
All right, Shawn Porter says that Al Heyman has promised him he will be next for the Danny Garcia and the Errol Spence winner November 21st. Let's talk about it. And also, that means that Errol Spence probably going to be dropping that IBF belt. If that's the case, hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Because let's talk about the situation. Showtime is hosting the IBF title, the IBF interim title. I forget what date it is, from Kudratillo. I call him Qdoba from Top Rank. He beat Luis Collazo last year, I believe it was. And Sergey Lipinets, right? Now, this can happen like this. I'm guessing Sergey Lipinets is like, you know what? They hoping Sergey win. Where they trying to make a deal where Sergey step aside and let Danny Garcia and Errol Spence winner fight Shawn, and then they get him. But that's really not how the IBF actually rocks, unless they get, Lipinets to fake an injury or something of that nature, or if he get injured or a bad cut. Now, the rules are 90 days, I guess, after Errol Spence and Danny Garcia fight, they have to fight the winner of Qdoba and Lipinets. Now, to talk about that fight for a minute, I ain't really been doing film work. I started doing film work last night again. As I was watching the Charlo documentary. Go check that out on Showtime. That dropped last night as well, too. And just looking at their styles, Qdoba, he has an upper hand on Lipinets when it comes to footwork. So if it come down to a battle of feet and Qdoba can take Lipinets' power, he probably gonna beat Lipinets. Remember, they fighting on the Showtime platform as well. And if Qdoba win this fight, he is gonna press Errol Spence to fight him next. And if they don't fight him next or come to an agreement, the IBF will strip Errol Spence and give the title to Qdoba. So at the end of the day, is Qdoba somebody to duck? No. In actuality, when Errol Spence had the car accident, Errol Spence was supposed to fight Qdoba, his IBF mandatory. But it took him so long to get back in the ring. Qdoba was like, you know what? Errol not committing to me. I'll fight, Lipinets. They both petitioned to fight each other for the interim title. So they both agreed to that. And if they pulled out, then they was going to be banned from the IBF rankings for like 6 to 12 months. I forget what it was to be exact. So don't quote me on that. All right? So now we got a situation with Shawn Porter being promised something, that may or may not can happen. Unless Errol Spence dropped the IBF belt. Now, what are the chances Errol Spence dropped the IBF belt? I think really slim to none. I think he will go on to fight the winner of Qdoba Lipinets next because he has to. But if he doesn't fight the winner of Qdoba Lipinets next, he chooses to fight Shawn Porter, then at the end of the day, he got to drop the belt. And if you remember, James DeGale fought, before he fought Chris Eubanks Jr., he dropped the IBF belt when Jose Uzataki was the interim winner. And when he dropped the belt because he didn't want to fight Uzataki got upgraded. So one thing about the IBF is very, very strict. They are very, very strict on mandatories and interim fights. Now, Sergey Lipinets was a product of pushing for a title shot versus Julius Ndongo. Because Ndongo and Terrence Crawford was going to fight for undisputed. The IBF granted them a rare exception to unify all the titles. And Lipinets ended up fighting a Kondo for a vacant title after Crawford moved back up. So it can happen, but being that Shawn Porter don't hold another belt, and it's not a unification clash, or it's not an undisputed clash, or it's not a big money fight like Manny Pacquiao where they get a bigger cut of the purse, I don't think so. Especially if Qdoba win this fight, then the situation where they going to have to fight him or drop the belt. Now, is he somebody to fade? No. Only reason you fade Qdoba is because the money difference. I can go back on pay-per-view and fight Shawn Porter. That's the only difference. Or Bob Arum win the purse bid between Lipinets and Qdoba. Qdoba and Spence, and make Spence come fight on Top Rank. So those are the only two scenarios which I can envision that happening. right? People say, why are you sweating? I just got done working out, finding gyms open. And I wore that altitude mask because I didn't want to wear the regular mask. And whew, man, high altitude mask kicked my ass today, but I've been out of shape though, so I deserve that. Deserve that ass cooking. Best water on the market too. They don't pay me for it neither. Best water on the market. But I got done walking the dogs too. But then again, it depends. But if Errol Spence do drop the belt, or Danny do drop the belt, if he win, not to fight Qdoba or just to fight Shawn Porter, would it be considered a duck? It's a $1 million question. And in my opinion, I don't think it would be considered a duck by the fans. That's why. The fans always give PBC the benefit of the doubt. Oh, he's going to fight Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter beat him. He didn't need the IBF belt. But then again, Errol Spence battle cry is, he want to be undisputed by dropping that belt. That's total hypocrisy. But once again, they'll pull an audible and say he can always come back and fight Qdoba or Lipinets. So, at the end of the day, I don't know if Shawn Porter is aware of that. I know Al Heyman is aware of it. Errol Spence, according to, his Twitter handle, he ain't aware of the rankings. He didn't even know what the regular WBA is. And to me, that's sad when you're a part of the sport and you don't know the rules. That's thing one as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? When you turn professional or you get in amateur tournaments or fights, you should always know the rules. And I don't think probably 90% of the boxers understand the sanctioned belt body rules. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they know what they're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So Earl got to understand, Al got to understand, and I'm pretty sure Al is aware, Stephen Espinoza is aware, that the interim title with the IBF is an immediate mandatory. Nothing more, nothing less. It's an immediate mandatory. They don't do step aside money like that. Only thing they could do is hope Qdoba get injured if he win, or tell Lipinets he injured if he win, to open that up. But eventually, you still have to go fight him or drop the belt. So do they drop the belt? And if he drops that belt, if Earl win or Danny win, Terrence Crawford might as well change his tune and not even call them dudes out no more. Because then it was, I'm going to get all the belts. Then I'm going to fight you. And also it was get Manny Pacquiao. Those things don't look likely to happen, in my opinion. Pacquiao looking to fight Mikey maybe one more time next year. So in that situation, if Pacquiao did want to fight Errol Spence, he destroyed Mikey. God's plan, Al plan. You know what I'm saying? And him and Mikey fought in the first quarter next year when they can have fans, hypothetically. We seen fans at the Kansas City Chiefs game. We seen them at the Jacksonville Jaguars game this weekend, if you didn't know. That's okay. If they can fight in the first quarter and Spence fight the IBF intern winner, and Shawn is hoping for a mandatory later on that year, unless, Spence dropped the belt, Shawn go get his rematch till 2022. If Pacquiao's willing to fight Earl or Danny. But if they drop the belt, then at the end of the day, that just lets you know everything you need to know. And if they drop the belt and Qdoba get the belt, Crawford gonna pick the IBF belt up. Now, Errol Spence can't cry 50-50. Can't cry 60-40, all that shit. Because he got one belt. And if Mikey retired without fighting him, Pacquiao retired without fighting him, then they can go up for grabs. So who knows can happen. So at the end of the day, it's funny how they try to glance over and do politics. If this was the WBC, the WBA, or the WBO on Bob or Oscar De La Hoya side of the fence or street, I'd probably be like, yeah, Shawn Porter probably going to be next. But this the IBF. Only person that really been under their thumb like that was Lou DiBella, from what I understand. So, in all actuality, Errol Spence has a mandatory next. This is one mandatory that they didn't force on him, but it's a WBC mandatory. Then you got to fight the winner of Qdoba and Lipinets. Maybe they hope it fall for a draw. They got to do it again. So, it's a couple ways where he can fight Shawn Porter or draw. Whoever win, get an injury or fake an injury. But ain't no exceptions here because it's not for undisputed. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to get another belt versus Pacquiao or Terrence Crawford. So the IBF is not going to excuse Errol Spence or Danny Garcia just to fight Shawn Porter. Either they give up the IBF belt or not. And Danny Garcia ain't got no shame in his game. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no shame. He'll bitch up and drop the belt and say, hey, I'm bigger than the belt. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. If he don't get Pacquiao, he probably going to try to move up anyway. Or maybe Errol Spence won an immediate rematch. Who knows? And IBF ain't going for that. Either you fight the winner, you look at Qdoba, or you drop the belt. So, I mean, pick your poison. So, I don't know if Shawn and Kenny is aware of the politics. I don't know if they is. Because more than likely, the only way you next is if an injury happened, a miracle of exception happened, because you don't bring a belt to the table. You know, you lost your belt. Or you or Errol or Danny, whoever win, drop the belt. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's always nice to keep up with the rule books. So if Errol planning to drop that belt, or Danny is, more Danny than Errol. But if Errol dropped the belt, you know what I'm saying? We own his helmet. We own his helmet like number 22 of the Washington football team. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate the love, support. Don't forget you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Also got a Facebook group. Holla at your boy there. If you ever got business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests, or you just want to chop it up, Twitter the fastest way, then IG, then Facebook. Other than that, want to make a donation, Cash App, CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. That's what to donate personally for your boy. Just share that video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. So I appreciate the love, support. Let me know what you think about it. One time for the one time we go.
Belief about
I'm on the phone.
You on the phone?
Yeah.
You looking at my baby?
No, I ain't looking. No, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, man. Next time we come outside, don't be staring and shit like that. I don't like that.
I wasn't looking at him.